Hey friends, welcome back to our amazing Bible adventures! Last time, we saw Jesus calm a huge storm with just a few words. Well, hold on tight, because right after that, their boat landed in a new place, and an incredible story was about to unfold. They reached a land called the Gerasenes, a rocky place with old tombs built into the hills. As soon as Jesus stepped out of the boat, something very strange happened. A man who needed help more than anyone came running towards them. This story from the Bible, found in the book of Mark, chapter 5, shows us just how powerful and loving Jesus is. It teaches us that no problem is too big for him, and that he always wins against anything bad. Are you ready to see what happens? Let's dive in. As Jesus and his disciples walked onto the shore, this man came rushing out from between the tombs. He wasn't just running. He was wild and looked very distressed. You see, this man wasn't well. He was being tormented by evil spirits or demons that had taken control of him. These demons made him live among the dead in the tombs, far away from his family and friends. The people in the town had tried to help him. They had tried to tie him up with chains to keep him from hurting himself or others, but the demons inside him gave him incredible strength. He would snap the chains and break the iron shackles on his feet, as if they were made of string. No one was strong enough to control him. Day and night, he would wander through the tombs and up in the hills, crying out in sadness and pain, and even hurting himself with stones. It was a very lonely and sad way to live. But when he saw Jesus from a distance, he ran and fell down on his knees right in front of him. But it wasn't the man who spoke first. The demon inside him shouted in a loud voice, "What do you want with me? Jesus, Son of the Most High God! Don't torture me!" Jesus had already started to command the spirit, saying, "Come out of this man, you impure spirit." Jesus then asked him, "What is your name?" The voice replied, "My name is Legion, for we are many." A legion was a huge group of Roman soldiers. So this meant there wasn't just one demon, but a whole army of them inside this poor man. That's why he had been so strong and out of control. The demons knew exactly who Jesus was, and they were terrified of his power. They begged Jesus over and over again not to send them out of the area. They knew their time was up with this man, but they didn't want to be sent away. Now, nearby on a hillside, there was a large herd of pigs feeding. There were about 2,000 of them. The demons saw them and came up with a desperate plan. They pleaded with Jesus, "Send us among the pigs. Allow us to go into them." They would rather be in pigs than face the judgment of Jesus right then and there. Jesus, showing his ultimate authority over all things, simply gave them permission. He said, "Go." He allowed it to happen. This was going to show everyone, in a very dramatic way, just how powerful he was and that the man was truly, completely free. What happened next was unbelievable. Whoosh! In an instant, the whole army of demons, the entire legion, left the man and rushed into the herd of pigs. Imagine the scene. Suddenly, the entire herd of about 2,000 pigs went wild. They started running frantically down the steep bank, straight towards the lake. They couldn't stop themselves. One after another, they plunged into the water and were drowned. The men who were taking care of the pigs saw the whole thing happen. They were shocked and terrified. They dropped everything and ran off to the nearby town and countryside, telling everyone they met the incredible, crazy story of what had just happened with the man from the tombs and their pigs. They couldn't believe their own eyes, and they knew everyone else had to hear about it. Soon, a crowd of people from the town and the surrounding area started heading out to sea for themselves. They had heard the wild story from the pig herders, and they had to know if it was true. When they got to where Jesus was, they stopped in their tracks, completely amazed. There, sitting quietly next to Jesus, was the very man who had been possessed by the demon army. But he was completely changed. He was no longer wild and shouting. He was calm. He was wearing clothes. He was in his right mind, thinking and talking normally. The man who used to break chains was now peaceful and free. The townspeople looked from the calm, healed man to Jesus. And then they probably looked out at the lake where their pigs had disappeared. Seeing the man so transformed was wonderful, but seeing the power that could do such a thing also made them afraid. They were so overwhelmed by Jesus' incredible power that they actually asked him to leave their region. As Jesus was getting back into the boat to leave, the man who had been healed came up to him. He was so grateful, so full of joy for his new life. He begged Jesus, "Please, let me go with you. I want to be one of your followers and stay with you." It makes sense, right? He wanted to stay close to the one who had saved him. But Jesus had a different, very special job for him. He said to him, "No, go home to your own people and tell them how much the Lord has done for you and how he has had mercy on you." Jesus wanted him to be a living, walking example of God's power and love to everyone he knew. He was to be a missionary to his own community. So the man did exactly what Jesus said. He went away and began to tell everyone in that whole region, an area called the Decapolis, about the amazing thing Jesus had done for him. And everyone who heard his story was completely astonished. They had known him as the wild, tormented man of the tombs. And now he was a messenger of hope. So let's quickly recap what we just saw. This man was trapped and in pain, held by something so big and scary, like an entire army. The chains people used couldn't hold him. But Jesus came, and with just his words, he broke the invisible chains holding the man captive. He set him completely free. Jesus showed his incredible love and his power over anything dark or evil. This story teaches us that no matter how big our problems seem, no matter how stuck or hopeless we might feel, nothing is too big for Jesus. He is stronger than any fear, any sadness, or any problem we could ever face. He brings peace where there is chaos, and freedom where there is bondage. He can change any situation and bring healing and happiness. What an awesome rescue story. Jesus didn't just sail away after the storm. He sailed right into someone's biggest problem and rescued them. And then he sent that person out to share the good news. The man waved goodbye as the boat sailed away, a huge smile on his face, ready to start his new mission. Jesus is always ready to help us too. He's always there to bring peace and freedom into our lives. I can't wait to see what wonder Jesus does next in our stories. Make sure you join us for the next part of our Bible adventure. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you for watching. God bless you.